It's illegal to mount the royal dog.
You can't threaten the Prime Minister with a chainsaw.
And whatnot.
Homo milk and whatnot.
Commonwealth, Commonwealth, the former empire, now Commonwealth. Is it relevant? Probably not. But why not give this part a shot? Stay tuned. Here comes Uncommonwealth, the podcast.
And hello! I'm so excited to be here at the Uncommonwealth podcast studio all around the world. I wish we were all around the world.
Isn't that like a Venga Boys song, Catherine?
Spice Girls?
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, guys, some news to share with you. I don't think this made headlines anywhere, but it was a fun little thing I saw. The Prime Minister of Australia, this is about a week ago, he was announcing a new policy. It's something to do with like homeowners construction and the grants that people can get. And it's essentially in front of a development site, but he's standing essentially on the paving path in front of someone's house. And I guess there's a press gaggle there with cameras and reporters or whatever. And I guess they're standing on the very edge of the front lawn of this property. So the Prime Minister's giving this press conference announcing this policy, and then this guy in the background, the homeowner, he walks out. He's in like tracksuit pants, no shoes, and he just yells out. He's like, "Hey, get off my grass!" This is in the middle of the Prime Minister's press conference, and the Prime Minister, to his credit, was like, "Oh yeah, sorry about that," and he instructs the people to like walk forward slightly. And this guy, he's just standing there watching them, and he yells out. He's like, "Hey, yeah, I just had that grass reseeded, guys." And they like move forward, and then he kind of just gives him a thumbs up and then walks back into his house. It's bloody hilarious, but it got me thinking how different it is in Australia versus, say, here in America. Because for one, you know, it's not like there were a bunch of Secret Service agents with a big perimeter. This guy's like 10 meters away from the Prime Minister. He just casually walks out in his pajamas, essentially.
I picture him rubbing his belly, eating a sandwich. Guys, get off my lawn.
That's a very accurate portrayal. Like this guy, he's just this bloke. He's got a bit of a belly, his hair in his tracksuit pants. He just yells, "Hey, get off my lawn!" And he's like, "I just got it reseeded," which is understandable. Anyone who's ever done their grass, and a lot of people are very proud of their front lawn. So, and it reminded me of how different it is in Australia versus America. You know, I'm sure in America that would have been some huge press thing with particular security all over the place, and here it's just 30 people standing in front of this guy's place.
There was a Prime Minister who went swimming and never came back, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like that would never have happened in America because there would have been 10 Secret Service agents swimming beside the person, you know?
Right. Secret Service in Australia, it's like Gary. That's the Secret Service.
They posted a photo of, it was, I think the Spanish president was just in a supermarket shopping with a COVID mask on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just a random dude in a supermarket, and someone had a...
Right. Well, it reminded me, so this is probably about, I don't know, it'd be 20 years ago, because it would have been early 2000s. The Prime Minister at the time, like, he's well known that he'd go on he'd just go on walks around where he lived. So it was very common. Like, people would see him out in public all the time going for a walk. And a news clip got a lot of attention, again, 20 years ago, because he was visiting some school for, you know, some official thing. And one of the kids gave him a hug, but the kid was holding a screwdriver. And so it got a lot of attention because everyone was like, how does a kid holding a screwdriver get close enough to be within stabbing range, but then like give him a hug? So people were like, oh, what does the security do? So there was a group of like Australian political comedians that had a TV show at the time called The Chaser. And they were essentially like, okay, well, if you can give him a hug with a screwdriver, like, what else can you give him a hug with? So they like waited for the Prime Minister to go on his well-known walking route. And one of the guys was standing there with a halberd, like, you know, a giant spear that has like an axe blade on it.
Wait, like the Grim Reaper, the scythe or whatever they hold?
Similar thing. It's like a giant spear.
Amazing.
And he's just standing there. And the Prime Minister comes up and sees him and like has a laugh, recognizing what's going on. So we let him give him a hug. And then on the show, they're like, okay, well, clearly a spear isn't the ceiling. What else can we do? Then the next day they went and did it with a live chainsaw, just standing there. And then his security was like, "No, mate, you got to turn that off." And he's like, "Okay." So I guess that's the. But I think it was just like a classic Australian thing where a homeowner rolls out, just casually says to the Prime Minister, like, "Hey, get off my front lawn, you dickhead."
That is funny, Jimmy. That would not happen. It wouldn't even happen in Canada. It feels like Australia is cooler about that stuff.
I think it's access to nuclear weapons that makes it important. But that was my favorite video of Tony Abbott when I was looking up Tony Abbott stuff, was the guy in the supermarket where Tony's just walking through saying hello to random people in the supermarket. He says hello to this old man. The guy goes, dickhead, and just keeps walking.
The podcast.
I got a new segment I want to try. So I'm calling it Time Capsule. And we got to imagine like it's our 500th episode. And I've got 3 things that we're to discuss. Like topics, as if it was our 500th episode. So topic 1 is, wow, it's a real bummer the Commonwealth is over.
500 episodes is not that far into the future, so something pretty catastrophic must have happened in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I was kind of at 500's roughly 10 years, right? If we do an episode
a week.
That's
a good point. Okay, yeah.
So you could think of it as 10 years from now. Like, what would have to happen for that to be a topic of our 500th episode?
I think they'd all have to remember they were part of the Commonwealth first.
I think Prince Harry would have ended up on the throne by this point and then done some crazy stuff that would have resulted in disbanding the Commonwealth altogether.
Well, some of the countries might be underwater. Is 10 years enough?
The Maldives.
They got to cut all those locks off the bridge.
Bangladesh has some risk of disappearing over time, I think.
Oh, are they sinking as well, or is it just encroachment?
It's very, very low to sea level. Right. So if sea level
I don't. No offense, but like we're all still going to be doing this in 10 years.
That's a different. There's a little suspension of disbelief involved in this segment, Kathy.
We have found the commitment level of...
That's a long time. Like, I don't know.
You're going to have a 10-year-old child.
Yeah, that's so weird.
He'll be like running around in the back, yelling at
we know how you don't like kids with erections.
Good callback.
Oh my God. I just don't know.
Okay, so let's go to the second one. The second topic for our 500th episode time capsule. Meghan Markle becomes the queen.
No.
Yes.
What would have to happen? A bunch of people would have to sort of die, right?
It doesn't. Yeah, surely just a few people die and then Harry becomes king.
Did anyone ever see King Ralph?
She's not the queen just because he's king. I don't think it works that way.
I don't think she could ever be queen.
No.
Could little Archie become king? Is there a path to that? Even if
Harry could become king if something cataclysmic happened to William's family.
Right, which then means that Archie could.
Yeah.
Why would Meghan not be queen if she was married to king?
She would be queen, but just in title. She could never be like Queen Elizabeth queen.
If Harry became king, she's queen in the way you just described it. But then if something happened to Harry, it would go to Archie before it would go to Meg.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't. It just.
Yeah, for sure.
She'd become the queen mother or the king mother or whatever it is.
Okay, so the answer is the only way in our 500th episode for Meghan Markle to be queen would be in some parallel universe where it's different. Okay. Okay, the third one to discuss.
So it sounds like the Commonwealth becoming disbanded is more likely, actually.
More likely.
Than Meghan becoming queen.
Okay, 500th episode. Our discussion is Idris Alba is still people's sexiest man of the year.
Oh, yeah, that's almost a guarantee.
For sure. Gil.
Who is going to be sexier than him in 10 years' time?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm getting better every year.
Throwing your hat in the ring at him?
No.
I just can't get over. I don't know how I'm going to feel about myself unless we're like the biggest podcast.
Have we created a sort of
getting too like introspective here?
Self, yeah.
I don't know. Can you imagine like we'll know each other so well? It'll be like all these years of anyway. All right.
So it sounds like Idris Alba still being hot is like the most likely of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only one that we're willing to really back.
I think this hypothetical has set Catherine into some sort of spiral where she's way too intensely focused.
It's going to ruin her whole week now. She's just going to be thinking about it.
She needs to pee again.
Catherine's going to be having her 5th child.
Oh, my God.
I know.
That's crazy.
Don't your feet get bigger with every child? Is that true?
Really?
Your feet do expand. Yeah, everything kind of does. But like
that's during the pregnancy, right? Don't they would shrink back to normal size?
They don't shrink back.
What? So you could have infinitely growing feet if you just kept having... So what about these like women who've had, say, 15 children? They're walking around with like clown shoes on?
Oh, yeah. Strong swimmers.
When I jogged a lot and ran like a bunch of marathons, my feet went from like a 9.5 to close to an 11, and they stayed at 11.
Whoa!
Wow.
No.
Yep. I thought it was the arch maybe flattening out a bit, and I don't know what happened.
Did your penis get bigger as well?
It can't really get bigger. Like there's a maximum.
It's already reached critical mass.
Every
Because
year
I
it gets
ran
bigger,
so
and I
many
just chop a
marathons,
little
my
bit off.
penis
just to
got
make
so
sure.
much bigger.
Wow, this got derailed.
Yeah.
Quickly.
I think to further do this segment would be too traumatic for Catherine.
Which definitely means we're doing it next week.
Can we do like?
Our
Next week, in 20
1000th
years' time, what do you
episode.
think we'll be doing?
Can we do like a year ahead? That seems like enough.
10 years, how big will Catherine's feet be?
Uncommonwealth.
We are going to travel around the Commonwealth for some interesting laws and facts and whatnot.
Facts and whatnot.
Facts and whatnot.
I
And
love
laws.
There's the title right there.
We're going to start off down under. Very interesting little tidbit from down under that Australians are only allowed to name animals if they are not planning on eating them.
Is that a law?
What?
That's law.
They're only allowed to name them?
What
Wait,
does that? What do you mean? I'm confused.
So knickers, it's illegal for knickers to be eaten because knickers has been named.
I understand. You mean you don't mean name it like cow. You mean name.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Because we're
That's
the
why I
only
don't-
country that eats
call
its
cows
coat of
cow.
arms. That's a little
What?
fun fact for you. Australia is the only country that eats its coat of arms. The kangaroo is on our coat of
Cattle?
arms, and
Eat the kangaroo.
yeah, you can buy kangaroo meat at a supermarket.
What?
Very lean,
Is
great.
it good?
Yeah, it's very good.
I mean, some people eat eagle. I think it's illegal though.
Yeah, that's
I think
eating
people probably
freedom.
eat it because it's illegal. Because there's
I
can't
I'm
imagine.
curious.
Taste it.
I'm
I think
definitely
if you
curious.
eat an eagle, you're a terrorist. I'm pretty sure that is the American law.
I mean, that's why we don't name our dog.
Get back.
Here, come dog. Here, dog. Dog. It's just to maintain the option value.
Dog.
That's all.
As an FYI, there's a lot of illegal naming happening in rural Australia because I know like a lot of people who have farms, they'll name cows and all that stuff as pets,
And
and
chomp
then they
them.
eat them. Yeah.
No.
Yep, yeah.
What? I mean, that's living life on the edge.
Yeah, my girlfriend has described that, and it's a
Really?
bit traumatic. You're like, oh, there goes Daisy.
What if you don't name your baby? Can you eat your baby?
Still
Dingo
think
ate my
about 10
baby.
years down the line, you try to
There are-
get out of it?
Fortunately, Catherine, there are other laws preventing that aside from just the name law.
There's also
Imagine
other
that's the
options.
only reason you can't kill a baby is because you've named it. Don't name your baby. Wait a few weeks. You might not like him.
All right. We're going to go to Nigeria for our second fun fact, tidbit, law, and whatnot. Under Nigerian law, it is, in fact, an individual can sue his or her former partner for breach of promise to marry. So if I told you that I was going to marry you and then I backed out of it, you could legally take action against me.
For what? Like to force you to marry the person, or
if
to
you got
like for
cold
money
feet,
or
Depending
compensation?
on the level of your cold feet, I think you could get in trouble for it.
Is divorce legal there? Because if you
Yeah.
then just get divorced,
Divorce is legal. I don't know what how
So
hard
you
it's
have cold
like,
feet. You're better off marrying and then getting a quick divorce.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like much ado about
Yeah.
nothing. It's you schedule the 3 p.m. ceremony and then 5 p.m. divorce. So
My third and final one, which is actually fun and nice and amusing, except back in the day, someone was actually executed for this. They were beheaded for this. If you allow your dogs to mate with the Queen's corgis without the royal permission, you could go to jail, and back in the day, you could be killed for it.
Holy.
Wow.
So wait, you're saying someone was executed because their
It-
dog
If you happen
mated?
to live nearby the Queen, yeah, someone's dog impregnated the royal dog and had some mutt royal. They got beheaded for it.
That's how the royal bloodline gets diluted.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that one. Because
That
you
dog
can't just let your mutt mount the royal dog.
No way.
That's not appropriate.
Illegal mounting. Is the royal dog always a corgi? If someone was beheaded, we're talking hundreds of years ago, right?
It's just
Because
Queen
it's
Elizabeth.
bad.
Queen Elizabeth's been the corgi bird, but you can still be. You can still see jail time in current day.
Wow.
And the queen is obsessed with her corgis. It's like her
Yeah.
whole life. And it makes
Every day at like 4:00, I think they bring her one big silver box, and she gives each one a single like tea biscuit.
oh,
How English
God.
of her.
But they don't have names because the queen, if she gets hungry, she wants the option to be able to fry one of those boys up.
There's 3, right? Royal corgis.
I think she is 12 of them.
Oh, okay. Wow. I
I'm
was
sure,
way off.
I'm sure they got a bunch in the back, and if something happens when they just
Right.
swap it out.
I'm sure.
I like how I talk so confidently about this just from the crown.
The podcast.
Guys, we have a chance. Another segment for you. Come. I want to close out with some of I know what are your favorite, Adam, some Canadianism.
Ooh, yeah.
And in particular, I want to talk about Canadianisms that have to do with beverages. If I could speak. The first one, and Adam, you might need to kind of, stay quiet. You're going to know too many of these. The first one is, Pierce or Jimmy, do you know what Homo milk might be?
Homo milk?
Yes, that is a
like a
popular type of milk.
It's a trap. Trick question.
That's a trap.
Homo milk is on the shelves. It says right on it, HOMO milk, in Canada. Adam, I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is.
So I'm guessing
milk that makes you gay. Not a choice, it's a beverage.
It hasn't been pasteurized?
No, good guess.
I think does it stand for homogeneous?
I already said.
Oh, did you?
I think I think it does, but it's milk with 3.25% milk fat, not to be confused with Canadian whole milk, which is our 2%.
So it's just extra fatty milk.
The gays aren't going to like that.
Which part?
Popular.
If I was a gay man, I would love to have like Homo milk as a brand. I would be buying that all the time. That's great.
Are you kidding? Absolutely.
I think we should bring that over to America, just for the fun factor.
It couldn't be called that in America.
Yeah. Does America even have that? Does it even offer milk with that fat content under a different name, or does it just go right from 2% to like half and half?
In the U.S., I don't know.
What's whole milk? I always thought that the Canadian Homo milk is the same as whole milk here.
Oh, that might be.
Yeah, well, maybe some reason it's not legal to sell it here. They have very different sort of
dairy. Health. Okay, second one. This refers to a alcohol, and it's called a Mickey. Any idea what this is?
If you slip a Mickey, that's like if you're drugging someone.
It's like a roofie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh.
What else? It's obviously a slang for alcohol, right? So Mickey Mouse?
Is it like a handle of vodka or?
It's so it's 13 ounces of alcohol. It's
like a flask almost, right?
Okay.
You guys, apparently there is no American exact equivalent of this size, but this is, Adam, this is what everybody uses in Canada. Like, I'm going to grab a Mickey of.
You buy a bottle. That's a Mickey.
Yes.
It's the size of a bottle. Oh.
It's a little personal bottle of spirit.
Imagine like it's just a little bit bigger than like a can of Coke. It's a different shape because it's glass bottle. Almost looks like a can of, like a syrup bottle almost.
Close enough.
Why is it called Mickey?
It's named after the trainer from the Rocky movie.
You gotta drink more, Rock.
That's a good Mickey, Pierce. He's got Mickey. He's got David Beckham. He's full of surprises.
Finally, we have another term referring to alcohol. It's called a 2-for.
2 for 1? Is that it? Is it like if you get a
That's a good
2 for the price of 1 at a bar?
Adam, you want to fill them in?
I want them to guess. It's so obvious. Like I'm gonna go to the store and pick up a 2-for.
24 ounces. 24
ounces.
No.
It is a case of 24 cans of beer.
Oh, 24 beers. Yeah. I was almost there, Catherine. I would have got there.
These
It also refers to the weekend in May 2-4 weekend.
Why do you call it 2-4 instead of 24? That's weird. No
what
one
happens?
Says,
it's a slang, Jimmy.
I'm 24 years old.
Wait, to make it more confusing, there's also in Canada a term called a 26er.
Is that 26 cans? Because that's ridiculous.
If it's not, I'm going to be real mad.
A bottle of
2-6er?
alcohol that contains just over 25 ounces. So, but it's like another term we use, a 26er, slightly big. It's like bigger than a Mickey for hard alcohol.
So to make a Canadian Russian, you would have 1 part Homo milk, 1 part 2-4 vodka.
Like the Empire, we're almost done. We hope that you've had lots of fun. Was it relevant? Probably not. But thanks for giving this part a shot. Stay tuned for the end of Uncommon Wealth, the podcast. Stay tuned for Uncommon Takes.
All right.
Bill Clinton famously used to sneak out at night. He used to get in his friend's car and go to McDonald's and sleep with mistresses.
Yeah, but that's,
It was the 90s.
I love that on his list of illicit activities is sleeping with mistress and eating McDonald's.
In that order.
I wonder if he eats McDonald's first. I couldn't. That's an interesting. That order matters.
Uncommonwealth.
I want to try some Homo milk. Very curious to know what.
It tastes great. There's the more fat in the milk.
Do you put it in like coffee or with cereal? Or?
Oh, it's great in cereal.
The podcast.
We moved into a new house. I'm opening lots of boxes, and I always have like an X-Acto knife. And my husband Jimmy just has like noticed that I've like gone to like hug him several times, or like just like been gesturing. Like I don't like think of it as like dangerous at all.
Right.
And he's been like, put that down. You're gonna hurt someone. Anyway, I love a good a knife hug. So if anyone wants,
is that how you accidentally gave him the coronavirus haircut? You were just waving this stuff around.
Uncommonwealth, the podcast.